Okay. What's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You know, that sports show where we talk about everything and it's going down. So turn it off, turn it all the way off. Yeah. Oh, man, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and again, this is Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast, again, like I was saying, where we talk about all the necessary events in the world of sports, all the hot topics, and all of the life topics that need to be discussed about as well. And, of course, over the last 3 months, it's been a lot more life than it has been sports, but I'm going to get into that in about a minute. But how is everybody doing today, okay? It is summertime. It is hot than a motherfucker outside. I did not do a podcast last week. I just decided to chill last week, work, get ready for the 4th of July, and just chill. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm back at it, okay? I'm back at it. I'm here. It is Monday, July the 6th, 2020. Okay, and guess what? Your boy birthday is in 13 days. Hey, my birthday is in less than 2 weeks. Hey, but no, real talk, man. It's hot, man. It's hot out here. It's not just hot out here with what's going on in these streets. It's hot out here with what's going on with this weather. Mother Nature has said it is summertime, and we're trying to make the best out of it that we can because, you know, there are a lot of people that are still quarantined. Unfortunately, COVID-19 numbers are spiking back up. I will get into that in a minute as well. But without further ado, dog, let's get to it, man. Well, I'm going to start off again with sports today. Hasn't been something that I've really been able to start off with, you know, the last 3 months. But I'm going to start off with the N for the L. I'm going to talk about the AFC East. You know, I'm going to look at things through the lenses of the Buffalo Bills, okay? The Buffalo Bills, you know, have made the playoffs 2 of the last 3 seasons, as quiet as that's been kept. You know, they made a lot of noise last year because you're looking at Josh Allen, who was a second-year quarterback at the time. You're looking at his game rising, but you see that he is a dual threat. He can throw the ball as well as run it very effectively. And the Bills, they have a top-notch defense. To me, they have a top 3 cornerback in Tre'Davious White. And they got to the playoffs, should have beat the Houston Texans. They let that one slip away. And in the offseason, you know, they get Stephon Diggs so they can have a big-time playmaker on the outside. And the Bills look prime, prepped, and ready to go ahead and snatch the AFC East from the grasp of the New England Patriots, who, of course, we all know Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay. I predicted that shit. And it looked like, where everybody was wondering what was going to become of the Patriots, because last year the Patriots, they were 12-4. They had a great defense, but, you know, their offensive weapons down the stretch of the season really just folded up on them. I, for one, have no pity for the Patriots. People, to me, were throwing Tom Brady too much of a pity party when they were saying, oh, he didn't have no weapons. He didn't have no weapons last season, when after week 1 of last year, they were people saying that the Patriots were going to go undefeated because on their roster was Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, Julian Edelman, and Demaryius Thomas. People forget about that. But now it looks like their time atop of the AFC East looks like it could be coming to an end. It looks like the Buffalo Bills would be the prime targets to finally upend the New England Patriots and win that division. The Patriots have won that division every year since 2009. 2008 was the last year the Patriots did not win the AFC East. The year that Tom Brady got hurt, torn ACL, opening game of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs in 2008. And the Buffalo Bills are in position. They're in position. They're going to do it. And then last Monday, the Patriots signed Cam Newton.
God damn! God f***ing damn it! Ha ha!
I mean, you can only imagine what a Buffalo Bill fan's face was when they found out that the Patriots signed Cam Newton. Now, the logistics of the contract is just a one-year deal, paying him a little over $1 million, which is ridiculous to me, seeing as how Cam was a number one draft pick. He has taken a team to a Super Bowl. He has won the NFL MVP. But, since that Super Bowl season of 2015, he's been very injured. He's been very hurt a lot over the past 4 years. Hadn't been to the playoffs, didn't take the Panthers to the playoffs at all, except for 2017. Since that year that they lost to my Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. So it's pretty much of a prove-it deal. Incentives in the deal could make Cam possibly get $7.5 million, if I'm not mistaken. So, and plus, there's still people saying that there's no guarantee that Cam Newton is going to beat out Jarrett Stidham for the job. But I don't believe that. And of course, yesterday, Cam just put out this video on Instagram saying, working out, showing that he's jacked up and saying that he's getting tired of being humble. I mean, the only thing I wish Cam would do was do something with that scarecrow that's on the top of his damn head. That shit just looked ridiculous. I ain't got no problem with locks or nothing like that, but what are you doing? I just one of those situations where you look at Cam's hair and you're like, what are those? But, yeah, I mean, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan and you really thinking, hey, we got this, and then they bring in Cam, I mean, look, that doesn't mean you should lose your hope in your team. I'm just going to tell you how I see things now. I think that New England will again win the division now with Cam as the quarterback, and I tell you why. The Patriots' offensive weapons didn't improve, but what throughout really Cam's career, what kind of offensive weapons has Cam really had to work with throughout his career in Carolina? You had Steve Smith for about 2 years before you shipped him to Baltimore. You had Greg Olsen. This is all during a time period. You had Greg Olsen. And then you got Christian McCaffrey, which really I think Cam probably only played, one full season in 2017, McCaffrey's rookie year. About 8 games, about half of a season in 2018 and 2 games in 2019. I mean, they've tried to put weapons around him. I remember they thought that Kelvin Benjamin, remember that guy? He was supposed to be, his number one weapon. That didn't last. Kelvin Benjamin's not even in the league anymore. Devin Funchess, he had a couple of good games, but he's with the Colts now. So, to me, if you see him working out with Mohamed Sanu and Julian Edelman and whatnot, I mean, Cam has really never had weapons, never had that type of weapon. He didn't have Randy Moss, like when Randy Moss came to the Patriots in 2007. He didn't have that. Cam Newton has never had what Drew Brees has had to work with. He never had what Jameis Winston had to work with last year. It was now what Tom Brady is working with. But I do think, Cam will be motivated, because I think what he should realize is that he probably will not get a long-term deal from the Patriots. That's just not what they do. Now, if he balls out and let's just say the Patriots go 11-5 and they win the division and possibly even win a playoff game, and the Patriots say, hey, we'll bring you back at X amount of dollars, Cam, I'm pretty sure, would weigh his options, because he would be in a good situation with Belichick, definitely. But he would weigh his options, and unless a team came out and offered him exponentially more, particularly if he has a great season. Now, let me put it this way. If the New England Patriots finish with the first or the second seed, because remember, this year in the playoffs, there is no 2 teams each conference having a bye week. It's one team, the number 1 seed from each division, from each conference rather, will get a bye week. If the New England Patriots finish the number 2 seed, I think Cam would seriously be in the MVP running. If he does that, then there will be a team out there, if not New England, who will still pay him big dollars. 31 years old. Yes, he's taking a lot of punishment. But you have to work off of his skill set. And, you have to do really what Norv Turner was doing with him in the 2018 season prior to Cam getting hurt, and then the snowball of injuries just coming to affect him from there on out. So this is just yet another move that is making people's thirst, hunger, and desire for a football season just grow greater and greater and greater. And with the COVID-19 numbers spiking up, you have people that are having questions about it, whether that be the right thing to do. Now all of a sudden you're hearing more people test positive, particularly professional athletes. The NBA is about to get started with it, and now it seems like every time you turn on the TV, another NBA player, a player from the 22 teams that's going into the bubble, has tested positive for the coronavirus. So people are saying, well, should the NFL do this? The federal government is going to will be the only thing that will stop the NFL from having a season, from it even starting on time. You may not have any preseason games, and allow me to warn people who are firmly against preseason football. You want to at least get 2 preseason games in there. I understand the circumstances of this, what's been going on in 2020 with this pandemic, but I warn you, you don't get any preseason games in, you're going to see a lot of, for one, the first 4 weeks of the season, you're going to see bad football. You know, we'll be happy because we'll be seeing NFL teams on our TV screen. But realistically, you're going to get bad football. Okay? And then on top of that, you're going to get some key players who are going to have season-ending injuries because they're not going to be in any type of game shape. I have grown sick and tired of people just kind of sweeping the preseason under the rug, saying like, oh, we don't need it. Yes, you do. You have to build up some type of game shape. You have to build up some type of chemistry. Some type of chemistry amongst offense and defense, particularly offenses really need preseason. You know, and you need it. There are people who say, no, we don't. And then they get all up in arms and angry when you have a franchise player have a torn ACL in week 3 and they're done. You know what I mean? You know, that's just, you have to think about that. That just comes along with the turf. But I definitely think that was a splash move that Belichick waited till the midnight hour. And, incidentally, they announced that they signed Cam Newton the same day that they got the fine for Spygate 2, the taping of the cameras against the Cincinnati Bengals. The NFL missed me with that shit because that fine was nothing. They got more the first time they did it for Spygate in 2007. They got away. I mean, the Patriots are going to keep doing what the Patriots do until you severely compromise them, a.k.a. suspend Bill Belichick for the year, just like they did Sean Payton for Bountygate. But, you know, what can I say? At this point right now, we just want to see some football, some sports. Nobody cares. But we still have to maintain a level of intelligence in regards to this pandemic, and which leads me to what I'm about to say next. You know, you look at places like Florida, which is now like the epicenter for COVID-19. You look at Texas, numbers have spiked up. Cali, numbers have spiked up. Places like Utah and stuff like that. And then here at the University of Alabama, they're having literally coronavirus parties to see who can catch coronavirus first. How dumb is that? How stupid is that? Look, outside of a horrible lack of leadership in the government, do you know why we're still dealing with COVID-19 at the rate that we're still dealing with COVID-19? Because of ignorance, arrogance, entitlement, and of course, privilege. You know, the government can point and say that these protests is the reason why the coronavirus numbers have spiked back up. That is bullshit, first of all. I'm not going to say that hasn't caused a little bit of it, but look, bottom line is, as a black man seeing what is happening right now, these protests need to happen. The protests definitely need to happen. I'll get into Trump's tweet about Bubba Wallace in a couple of minutes, which further shows why the protests need to happen. But this country, this nation, America, is so entitled, so privileged, that they've become so arrogant and ignorant. And that is what is keeping this country firmly in the middle of this pandemic. America has reacted the absolute worst in the world when it comes to dealing with the coronavirus. The worst in the world. Okay, because of arrogant ass people in this country. Now look, I will say this, and I've said this from Jump Street. When they shut the schools down, they should have done a mandatory 2-week lockdown in the nation where everything is shut down. The only reason you were to come outside is if you have to walk your damn dog or take out your trash. Because think about this. How many celebrities have we heard about, or just people in general have we heard about, that caught the coronavirus and quarantined for 2 weeks, then it was gone? So common sense would say, okay, the whole nation needs to be put on timeout for 2 weeks, 3 weeks if you want to be safe. I mean, we're always talking about, well, that's not good for the economy. That's not good for the economy. If most of the people ends up motherfucking dying, you ain't gonna have no economy. You know, there should have been a mandatory lockdown 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Instead, you still had people house hopping, this, that, and the third, and that's when the arrogance of Americans. Well, I'm an American. I'm gonna do what I want to do. We're Americans. We don't have to worry about the coronavirus. Like the coronavirus is just gonna say, oh yeah, they're American. I'm not gonna fuck with them. And I guarantee you that there are other countries out there that are absolutely tickled pink that we are being affected so much by this pandemic. And they were probably counting on the arrogance and the ignorance of the American public, not only that, the American government, to come and bite us right in the bung hole. And that's what it's done. That's exactly what it's done. And people need to chill. People really need to chill. I mean, there have been the governor of Texas, you suck. The governor of Florida, you suck. You know, the governor of New York, 2 thumbs up. The governor of Virginia, 2 thumbs up. I'm just being straight up. I'm being straight up. And the young people out here, the people who are in colleges, universities doing that stupid stuff, man, chill out. I mean, who the hell wants to see who gets a deadly virus first? And now there's reports saying, no, it's not even a respiratory virus. It's something that has to do with your blood. So we're still finding stuff out about this stuff, and we're like, wow. And our beloved president has already said he will not do another lockdown. He will not affect the American economy. Dumb. If people keep on dying, you're not going to have much of an economy left, idiot. Which brings me to his ass and the tweet that he just put out saying that Bubba Wallace needs to apologize to all the other NASCAR drivers because it was a hoax. The noose in the garage was a hoax. I'm not going to be long on this, but it's clear what this man is doing. It's clear that this man is looking to divide people at any cost. Just when you think he might just chill out and shut up, he's just trying to take attention off people because people done heard about that shit with Russia and the killing of American soldiers that he knew about. So now he wants to send out a tweet calling Bubba Wallace a liar and saying it's a hoax. How the hell was it a hoax when NASCAR itself said that the way that rope was hung in that garage had been there since October of last year? So how the hell is that a hoax? It wasn't a figment of anybody's imagination. Bubba Wallace didn't see it himself because the drivers were not allowed back there. It was a member of Bubba Wallace's crew, of his car crew, of his team, who saw it and let Bubba, let Bubba Wallace know about it. So that's, again, another prime example of the president trying to change the narrative, and he's going to say the hoax and flag reasons of why NASCAR's ratings have been low. Well, first of all, I don't follow NASCAR, so I don't know about their ratings. I don't care about their ratings. But I did do my research, and NASCAR's ratings have grown. Their fan base has grown since this situation has happened with Bubba Wallace. Since Bubba Wallace being the only black full-time driver in NASCAR has come out in support of the Black Lives Movement, NASCAR's popularity has actually grown. And that lets you know what Trump thinks as far as them getting rid of the Confederate flag. I'm going to say it again. Fuck that flag. Okay? It's a flag that supports losers. It's a flag of people who supported oppression. A flag of people who supported slavery, keeping black people in slavery, keeping things the way they were when we weren't even viewed as people. So fuck that flag. Just straight up. I'm just going to be honest, straight up. That has been oppression to people, oppression to blacks, oppressions to Native Americans, oppressions to Egyptians. That has been the biggest pandemic in the history of the globe. That has been the biggest disease in the history of the globe. Oppression by people who don't choose to view other people as equal, who view other people as inferior because they think they're superior. It's bullshit. And people like our dear darling president is doing nothing but advocating for that. Now, Kanye West running for president, I ain't gonna fuck with that today. I ain't gonna mess with that today. Hey, Kanye maybe has an attitude of saying, hey, if he can do it, so can I. Plus, he's a billionaire now. So, people who reach that billionaire boys club status think that they can do anything, and most of the times they can. So, I'll leave that alone. But, man, oh man, a lot happened last week. Like I said, I decided I just took the week off, but a lot has happened. There's more questions again in regards to the NBA as far as this bubble. They're simply players that are just not happy about it, that, they're going to be uncomfortable with it. So how bad do you want a season? There are people, there are a lot of people who are opting not to come. Like, I don't even know why the Brooklyn Nets are even going to show up. Damn, half of their team either is not coming because of the coronavirus, not coming because of social reasons, or not coming because they're injured. I don't even know why the Nets are showing up. Real talk. Excuse me, I'm parched. But when we talk about brass taxes of the NBA, a lot of people are saying that the Los Angeles Lakers are the favorite to come to win the title. And I heard Kenny Smith on an interview say something that I totally agreed with. This is technically seen as the restart, the continuation of the season, of the 2019-2020 NBA season. But Kenny Smith said something that I truly agree with. He said, this is a whole new season. And absolutely he's right. Because the NBA offseason lasts from when the finals end, which is usually mid to late June, to now what they do is about mid to late October. So you have about a 4-month off season, and that's really for the last 2 to 4 teams who make it in the season. Teams who don't make the playoffs at all, they have about a 6-month off season. But point I'm trying to make is that by the time play will resume, which will be July 30th, the players will have had 4 months. So in essence, this is a new season. It is a new season. They're just playing with the records of what they stopped with when play halted in early March. Do I think the Lakers will be the favorite? I still would pick the Clippers. Even though I know the Lakers just signed J.R. Smith because Avery Bradley is opting out. I forgot that we had got Dion Waiters. I would prefer Avery Bradley over J.R. Smith. That's just me. We don't know what's going to happen with Dwight Howard. If Dwight Howard decides not to come and play, do they sign Boogie Cousins, who should be healthy now, who hurt himself, I would say, a little less than a year ago in a pickup game not too long after he signed with the Lakers? I don't know. There will be no home court advantage. That could make a big difference. I'm just not sure. I mean, this could be crazy. And I'll say this again, the whole extra 8 regular season games are for 2 reasons. The reason why they didn't just jump straight into the playoffs with the teams who were seeded 1 through 8 in each conference. The reason why they're still going through with these 8 regular season games is to, 1, fulfill obligations to local TV contracts so they can get that money. 2, they want to do everything they can to try to make sure that Zion Williamson gets into the playoffs and the Pelicans get into the playoffs. They won't come out and say that part publicly, but you better believe the NBA wants Zion in the playoffs. And Zion, who, by the way, looks great. During this offseason, if you will, he has gotten in shape. He looks the way that I said that he would need to look for his entire NBA career. At least for the first half of it. I say first 3 quarters. Zion looks fit. Zion looks slim. He looks like he's lost about 30 pounds. And he looks ready to go. And that's hard when, you're quarantining or whatever. When you don't have a schedule, you tend to just sit and eat all day. I mean, I'm serious. When you don't have a schedule, when you don't have nothing to do, it takes a lot of discipline to work out, get yourself in shape, get yourself fit. Average people like me, we'll sit around and try not to eat all day, especially if we don't have shit to do. On my off days, I have to try really hard not to eat all day. Well, I got to get out, take my kids somewhere, do something. You know what I mean? Do something. But Zion looks great. He looks fantastic. And that's how he needs to look his entire career, because he's already, to me, exceeded expectations of what he would do his rookie season, even though he's only played in a handful of games. Hasn't been there. Ja Morant deserves to be the rookie of the year. Make no mistake about it. But Zion looks great. He looks fantastic. And the NBA definitely wants this cash cow to be in the playoffs. So, but like I said, everything is touch and go. But everything is going to be touch and go until there's a vaccine. And the conspiracy theorist in me believes that there is already a vaccine. I believe that there is a vaccine in place. It's just not been dished out yet because, for one, they don't have enough for everybody yet. And 2, I believe the government is just effed up enough to wait till it gets to a certain body count. For real. It's crazy because, it's people out here dying and people are worried about the economy. If everybody dies, who gives a shit about the economy? Or if you have 3/4 people dead, who gives a shit about the economy? If you want to, you know what? Let's do reparations. How about that? Yeah, when every time I say something about reparations, motherfuckers get silent. I put it on Facebook. They can approve $1 trillion stimulus checks. I wonder what they would say about reparations. I don't hear nothing. I don't see nothing. Nothing. No thumbs up, thumbs down, no comments, no nothing. People be like, oh, I'm not going to touch that. Why not? Why not? Especially if you black, why not? This 2020 has been the year of clear vision. You people are finally seeing stuff for what it is. I'm not trying to get religious on everybody right now or anything, but don't think that God don't know what He's doing. All of this stuff with the civil unrest happens when it's the middle of a global pandemic and a lot of people are at home doing nothing, so they ain't got no choice but to pay attention to what is going on, and that is what has been going on for decades and decades upon centuries with black people. So I again ask, why not reparations? We talk about the gap, the wealth gap, the financial gap that exists between the African American community and everybody else, particularly the Caucasian community here in America. That's a big gap. So why not? You want to level the playing field? You want black people to, quote unquote, stop complaining? Then don't just do away with these statues. Let's have some reparations. Okay? Because they tearing down statues here in Virginia, which, that's something, and this is, I know this is random, but this is something that I've always wondered why. Like, when you hear black people bring up, the talks of slavery and things like that, things that make particularly Caucasian people, uncomfortable, or you'll hear people saying, hey, you just need to get over it. When you live in a place like Richmond, Virginia, and you tell people, hey, that was a long time ago, that was a very long time ago, back in the 1800s, you need to let it go. But then you go on a place like Monument Avenue and you sit there and you see statues reminding you of pretty much where you come from or how you used to be treated. But then you want to sit there and say, get over it. Man, miss me with that bullshit. Okay? I mean, for real. For real. So, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, let's be on a level playing field. Okay? So, but like I said, it's when it comes to sports, I'm just really updating what is necessary. There's a big UFC fight, Masvidal. I actually pay attention to him. He's fighting Saturday. Y'all know I don't do the UFC thing. I'm boxing. I'm the sweet science. Mike Tyson was throwing around steel cages on the beach the other day. Let's go ahead and get you a fight sign, Mike. Let's get you back in the ring. Okay, let's get you back in the ring. But yeah, I touched on the president calling out Bubba Wallace. And like I said, that's a joke. He's being a clown. Now, the NBA has said that they're gonna put Black Lives Matter on the court once they resume play. And I mean, that's cool. The NBA is trying. Now, the whole nicknames on the back of the jerseys or the names on the back of the jerseys, I don't know. That may just be a little too much. The NBA has given the players a list of phrases of what they can put on the back of their jersey instead of their last name. I mean, and they don't want anybody who has been killed, from these recent events of police brutality or anything like that. They don't want to do that. But to me, honestly, that would be the names that I would put on there. I would put Floyd's name. I would put Floyd on the back of a jersey. I would put Taylor. I would put Arbery. I would put Martin. I put Garner. I would. But I mean, I think the Black Lives Matter on the court, I think that's cool. The jersey thing, I think they should just leave that alone. That's just me. I really do. I think they should leave that alone. So the NBA is supposed to start in 3 weeks. We'll see what happens. I mean, honestly, we will see what happens. And in the meantime, where the buzzer. Okay, this has been another episode of Sports Plus Life with your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. Again, I want everybody to be safe out there. If you have not hit that subscription button, definitely hit that subscription button and become a part of the Sports Plus Life family. Definitely, if you have any comments, leave your comments in the comment box. I will get back at you personally. And the interviews will be coming back. The interviews will be returning. We will be hearing from my man Tony. Hopefully, I can get a couple other people in on here so we can continue to talk sports. We can talk social justice. We can talk anything that you want to talk. And by the way, the next episode, I'm going to get into Jerry Jones about his silence on the Black Lives Matter movement, on the matter of police brutality, on the matter of social injustice. You've never been quiet for the 30 years you own the Dallas Cowboys. Where the fuck you at now? You had your chest poked out when Colin Kaepernick was first kneeling saying no Cowboy would do it. Now that it's in season, you don't want to say shit. I'm going to get into your ass next time. And also, will the Washington football team known as the Redskins finally change their name? The pressure's being put on. Will Daniel Snyder finally change that name? You another one too. But until then, it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns, Sports Plus Life. I'm out this bitch. Peace.